welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber King of the Depths, and this is White Initiative featuring Tarkir Dragonstorm. We all know the Ancient Tomb Chrome Mox shell. If you play Legacy, basically anything that costs 2 and a color is worth exploring. That's your Goblin Rabble Masters of the world, your Archon of Emirias, your Sea Drakes if you're nasty, your Sirach Elusive Hunters, and of course your Clarion Conquerors. 3/3 Flying Dragon, activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated. This card is much more of a kind of surgical tool for specific matchups than it is a generic break everybody's deck card. Like Thalia, most decks have a spell in them. Anointed Beastkeeper, you get to look at the opponent's hand and then mess with whatever matters the most. Archon of Emeria. Each player can only cast one spell each turn. Non-basic lands your opponent's control enter tapped. Fetch land for dual land is now a 3-turn play before you get access to your colors. And even just like Ponder looking for Swords to Plowshares, you can't cast the Plow in the same turn you Ponder to answer the Archon in the first place. All these cards seriously roll the ankles of just normal decks trying to do normal things. Seasoned Dungeoneer, your big win con. Getting the initiative, very powerful. Attacking, which is functionally unblockable because it gets protection from creatures until end of turn. Built-in card advantage. This thing's great. A lot of decks have creatures. A lot of decks have creatures. A lot of decks have random artifacts and enchantments. Clarion Conqueror, though. Shutting down artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers. This is Null Rod. It's Cursed Totem. And I assume there's some card that also Null Rod's Planeswalkers. It's that too. It's all of those things on a 3-mana 3/3 flyer. If you happen to be against Nadu, this deck's insane. If you happen to be against a deck that needs Lion's Eye Diamond or Lotus Petal to function, or heaven forbid, good luck to anyone trying to use artifact lands against this card. They are cooked. I would not want to be Mystic Forge combo versus this deck, or versus this card. However, we are also a deck that relies on 8 sources of artifact mana to play the game. Like if you go Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox, pitch a card to Chrome Mox, turn 1 Clarion Conqueror, you just spent 2 cards on Chrome Mox and then turned it off, which is a little bit awkward, which is why there's only 2 of these. But the other 2 are in the sideboard for those matchups we listed where they're actually really important. This is mostly just an excuse to play White Initiative again, a deck that has long since fallen out of favor ever since the banning of White Plume Adventurer made the deck a lot worse. It's usually 2-color or mono red if you see Initiative at all these days. But we have a new thing that costs 2 and a color. That means we have to play the Ancient Tomb deck that goes with it. Let's do it. This is Tarkir Initiative from King of the Depths. I'm on the play in round 1, and this hand is slow, but it's steady. I am going to keep it. This is turn 2 Thalia, turn 3 Seasoned Dungeoneer. Normally you want to be doing something on turn 1, but if I can keep 7 and have a good hand, I'm interested. I've got a Hedge Maze from the opponent. Razor Grash Field. I will zap that in and play Thalia. It's a lot of Seasoned Dungeoneers. My dungeon is so seasoned. Guy Fieri approves of this dungeon. Flooded Strand. This is shaping up to look like a Nadu deck, which is one of the decks that our silly new card lines up well against. Could also just be ban control. I don't know. We'll see if they play a Shuko this turn or something more innocuous. Maybe they just play a Swords to Plowshares. That's fine. Prismatic Ending. Using the Prismatic Ending Converge trick. The trick there is Prismatic Ending only cares what colors of mana were spent to cast it. It doesn't actually care what the value of X is. So if you cast Prismatic Ending announcing X equals 0, then the Thalia tax makes you pay 1 more of a different color. You can still exile a 2-drop on curve. Okay. Let's see if we can sneak through here. Ooh, let the party start. Here we go. I have the initiative, and I'm ready to rain death down on my opponent.
grab my sick eyeball land from Tarkir Dragonstorm. A Ponder. I've been in the spot of my opponent before. If they're not a Nadu deck or something with a major pivot that can win the game, they're basically already dead. And they are not looking good. I'm actually going to Lost Well here because Swords to Plowshare is blowing out my dungeon room is not what I want to be doing. Okay, combat, trigger. If they have Plow, it's the time. Razor Crash, Ambush. I would like to put that card into my graveyard. Opponent takes a beat, and I'm going to play Plains and another Seasoned Dungeoneer. And then I'll go into the stash and play Chalice the Void. Boom. They would have to flip Terminus to have a chance in this game, I think. Pass the turn. Blue-white in the pool. Prismatic End Chalice, sure. Yeah, make a Spooky Skeleton and go to combat. I have to make sure to target each of these with the other one, or they can target themselves too, but each one has to target a different one because protection from creatures will fizzle the second ability. Lotus Petal into the graveyard. Cavernous Souls into my hand. Opponent's at 7. Cavern on Human. I'm just going to keep piling them on. I'm having so much fun right now. This goes into the Throne of the Dead 3, which shows them 10 cards in my deck that I might not have needed to show them, but if I get Archon of Emeria, that'll pretty much lock out anything they could do. Peacekeeper. All right, show me your hand. Oh, they are Nadu Breakfast. Good to know. Conceded after I saw their hand. Fair enough. Well, that was actually an important Throne of the Dead 3 to go into because now I know they're not Bant Control. They are Nadu Breakfast. Disruptor Flute coming in. This card's really good in the current format. I would probably play it in Control and Tempo decks too. Just with the rise of Show and Tell and then Mistrized Village making Show and Tell uncounterable. Not excited about that. The Clarion Conqueror does in fact Clarion Conquer Nadu Breakfast. The creature Nadu itself, I'm not a big fan of. Thalia can go. Chalice is pretty good. Palace Jailer is not what I want to be doing against a deck like this one. It could take a Nadu, but I'd rather they just didn't have Nadu. And I do still have Touch the Spirit Realm and Solitude and Disruptor Flute that can name Nadu. I don't think I'm going to bring in the Leyline of the Voids. Containment Priest turns off Throne of the Dead 3 for me, but it also makes Touch the Spirit Realm bad for me, but worse for my opponent. Like, I can't flicker my own creatures anymore, but I can permanently exile my opponent's creatures. If I'm playing Containment Priest, where does it go? I just don't think I'm doing that. Okay. Skip on Containment Priest. Let the new dragon do its job. Okay, this is turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Conqueror. Tundra Nomad. Uh-oh. Finding an Ancient Tomb would be huge here, if I can make this Nomad not work. Okay, we're in the danger zone. Plains, Chrome Mox, exile Seasoned Dungeoneer, play Chalice. If they just have Illusionist, I'm dead. Maybe, please don't. Urza's Saga. Narcomoeba, okay. So Clarion Conqueror is going to get a moment here, but we are going to see the pro and con, which is they're not going to be able to activate their Nomad, but I'm not going to be able to tap this Chrome Mox anymore. Artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers cannot be activated. Unfortunately, it doesn't say enchantments on it. Turning off Urza's Saga with this would be probably worth it to play on its own. I can put at least one construct in the Spirit Realm. Ancient Tomb is probably my best draw here. Yes, okay. Tap land is so big for me. That means the Saga Construct game can't just kick in and go nuts on its own. This looks like a prismatic ending, the way their mana is being tapped. Yep. Ending clears the Chalice. Alright, deck. Mana would be great. Not mana. It is another removal spell, though. And begin the beats. Here we go. This is a 3/3 flying, in addition to everything else that's going on. They didn't make a construct. That's cool. Pithing Needle. What do you name with that? Caracas? Or proactively name Touch the Spirit Realm? Are they in the Matrix? Caracas, okay. That means Nadu is coming down. Caracas is not a good answer to Nadu anyway. Just bounce it, they get to draw a card. And then they just replay it. Swords to Plowshares. Bad news, team. Yeah, flickering out Nomad doesn't even do anything here. They're just going to get to draw at least 6 cards, and then I can play Touch the Spirit Realm after that. Illusionist. Another Plow. Okay. I can concede this game. We're good. Okay. My own plows get stepped on by my own chalices, but if they have a bunch of prismatic endings in their deck, maybe this is the better way to fight them anyway. And that lets me bring in March of Otherworldly Light as well. That can pick off Urza Saga. Okay, I think I'm going to do it like this. I have 3 mana in my hand. 2 of it's permanent. I am going to keep Anointed Peacekeeper. I think is good enough. And I am going to shock in the Razorgrass Field, because if they play out a Nomad, I want to be able to break that up. And this matchup is frequently not about life total anyway. City of Traders. Not unhappy to see that. Lotus Petal. Are they on that spell? Pierce Lotus Petal life? Sick. All right, well, strong. Now I have to decide. I'm going to Cavern on Human and pass. I don't want to lose City of Traders. If that was Ancient Tomb, I would have just played it. But Consigning a Petal is pretty tight. Almost as tight as Marching an Urza Saga. I got something like that too. We both have our little tricks. That was a fun exchange. Nomad, there's that thing. Okay, City of Traders, Anointed Peacekeeper. With Swords to Plowshares still in the grip. Swords to Plowshares or Nadu are the cards I can name. I think I have to name Swords to Plowshares. Oh wait, that's what I want to do. Okay, hold on. Spells your opponent's cast. Okay, Swords to Plowshares, good. Good. Saved by the boring baby way they print cards these days. Okay, passing the turn. I am going to plow their Nomad in the end step. I just want this gone. At some point, they'll remove my Peacekeeper and stick their Nadu. Hello. Or I can keep the piece even harder. Anointed Peacekeeper. Let's get another look at that hand. Force of Will. Okay. I think this one wants to name Nadu. If they don't draw a land, I'm just doing great no matter what. If they do draw a land, they can plow the one on Nadu, then play Nadu over 2 turns. The problem is they drew Force of Will, which means I can't easily touch the Spirit Realm, the Nadu. But hopefully the game just dies in 3 hits without them ever doing anything. That's what I'd like. And if they do plow one of these Peacekeepers, I can Spirit Realm it out and it'll come back in the end step and I can name something new. Brainstorm, pretty decent. Land number 3. That means they can plow next turn. That land still doesn't cast Thassa's Oracle, though. That's good. That's a blocker they don't have access to. And Smoosh. Okay, their Prismatic Ending, the one on Plow, which will unlock the Plow in their hand, which means I'm going to touch the Spirit Realm on this, which will still let them plow the other one, but this one will come back and get to rename something. So they have to fetch down to 5 to play the Plow. And then this comes back in. But if they don't respond first, I could just name Windswept Heath. Okay, here we go. Yeah. You got to do it. The card is coming back. Okay, there's Plow. And now this comes back. I guess I just name Nadu again. I'll name Nadu Winged Wisdom and try to get over this finish line. Ooh, we like that one. Attack you to 2. Now I can play Clarion Conqueror, which you can force down to 1, and then you have 1 uncastable card in your hand. Yeah, gotta do it. Oh, right, they pitch Nadu. That's allowed. That is a blue card. All right, they Brainstorm and Drawing Wild. If they put together Nomad plus Illusionist right now, I still have Solitude. They can't fetch or force again this game unless they plow one of their own creatures. Ooh, Prismatic Ending seems to be the find. Okay, we are back to stability. A White Source lets me cast Solitude. Okay, I think I have to just do this because Cavern is not on Elemental and City of Traders is the land that I have, so I don't even get to wait until there's a target in play. And now if they have Nomad Illusionist, they do win. But if they don't have that, I have Lethal on board. And they know their top cards because of Brainstorm. They can't get through it. By the skin of my ass, which is how this deck plays sometimes. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2. I have a turn 1 Archon of Emeria or turn 1 Chalice. I think Archon is actually better than Chalice in a lot of situations. And I got more Solitudes than I need here. Solitude, City, Archon of Emeria. It resolved. Let's see what my opponent's doing. I hope they're oops all spells and they can never win. Ancient Tomb tapped. Ancient Tomb's a little awkward, because what am I doing with Chalice of the Void if that's the case? I could play it on 0. I have this Chromox in my hand though, but I don't really want to pitch Solitude to it. Yeah, I'm going to play Chalice on 0 actually, just in case they have Chromoxes or Lotus Petals of their own. Grim Monolith. Okay, this looks like the Tony Scaponi deck. I still feel good about Chalice on 0 if that's the case. Do I want to get colored mana in the mix here? I don't think so. I'm still pretty far away from doing anything. I can't wait to board in my Clarion Conquerors, though. This is the place. I hope we just have a full league of matchups where that card's highly relevant. That's what I want to do with my life. Thoughtcast. Okay, that's their spell. Kozilek's Command is a card I have to be concerned about. I'd really like some kind of follow-up here. That's some kind of follow-up. Okay, 1, 2, Plains, 3, 4, Seasoned Dungeoneer. They're not even pretending to have interaction at this point. Okay, now they're in trouble if they don't win this turn, and Kozilek's Command doesn't really help them. I guess K-Command exiling Archon, then go off and win would help them. But you can't block Seasoned Dungeoneer. Grindstone. Okay, if they're Painter, I could just lose. That is a concern. Okay, 3, 4, 5. They're dead in 2 hits anyway, so I think I want a Lost Well to make sure I draw a white card for Solitude. Lots of white cards. Okay. Bottom Thalia, top Solitude. Attack with my creatures. Palace Jailer. Yeah, we can put that into the graveyard. That's not where this game's going. Second main, play Plains, pass, and I have Solitude that can answer Painter, and they can't play 2 spells in a turn. Oh no! I guess if they wait till my turn, that is pretty reasonable. They could back it up with Force now. Did they solve it? Did I blow it? If I had Forged last turn, they wouldn't be able to Ancient Tomb, but they can't Ancient Tomb anyway. Okay, they might have actually solved this. Wow, well done. Do I have anything that stops this? No, there's no weird little triggers. All right, GG. And I couldn't Solitude in the end step either because they could activate in response. Okay, they found the line. Well done. Disruptor Flute, Clarion Conqueror piles in. March of Otherworldly Light piles in. Chalice comes out. Plow comes in. Let's make sure I don't get comboed out, I guess is the main job here. I don't think I need Palace Jailers. Witch Enchanter looks great. Solitude does a lot. Thalia's kind of mid. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, those like 4 turns I spent that game not doing anything were the difference. My opponent won the game at 4 life. Okay, this is a turn 1 Disruptor Flute into turn 2 Anointed Peacekeeper. If I want to keep my City of Traders, which I do. Okay, keep. Island, Chromox. I'm going to exile Swords to Plowshares and keep March of Otherworldly Light. That just seems more useful. And I'm going to pass for now. And that's why. No reason to flash in a Disruptor Flute when they could lead on Saga and get smoked. Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. Am I smoked? I gotta learn to stop talking shit. It's not worked out for me yet. Repeal. Okay. That does reset my Chromox. Luckily, I don't need it where I'm going. Anointed Peacekeeper. Activated abilities cost 2 or more unless they're mana abilities. Shame I can't name Lotus Petal with this. Okay, I guess I named Grim Monolith. Grim Monolith. Okay, and then I can Disruptor Flute, naming also Grim Monolith, and hopefully go coast to coast with this 3/3. Ancient Tomb. Or they could top deck fucking Painter. Great. That's alright. I can disrupt it. They can't win right now. A land is a big draw here. Or Clarion Conqueror is even bigger! Ho, 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 ho. Okay. Disruptor Flute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would have still lost to a top deck mana source. But look who came up instead. Here's that boy. Your deck's off. Go. Ancient Tomb is their only permanent that works right now. Seasoned Dungeoneer. Still a mana away from that one. And I can still play Disruptor Flute if I feel like that's something I need to do. I hope I don't need to show them that card. Yeah, just soloed by Null Rod Monster. Okay. Chalice on 0 turns out to be pretty good, but I'm on the draw, so that won't matter. I think I'd rather have Plow than Chalice, and it's one or the other. Okay, let's game. Come on, Clarion Conqueror. Nobody's going to be more conquerable than this opponent ever. I have Solitude, 2 sources of mana, Touch the Spirit Realm to bridge 2 Clarion Conquerors. What's my mana count in the deck? 16 lands, 4 Chrome Mox, 4 Lotus Petal, 20 lands if we count the ambushes, so that's 28. My deck is nearly half mana. I'm going to keep. I think Clarion Conqueror is good enough to bet on white here. If the Solitude wasn't here, I wouldn't mess around with it, but being able to fend off the first Painter sounds pretty sick. Okay, they milled a bunch of stuff with Emery. Caracas off the top. Lotus Petal. Okay, well, Lotus Petal gets me into Clarion Conqueror. Solitude, pitching. I think I'm going to pitch Seasoned Dungeoneer. Okay, exile Emery. Then I'll play Razorgrass Ambush and pass the turn. The Emery's a little awkward because next turn Clarion Conqueror would have turned it off. Stock up, okay. If Stock Up doesn't find Force Blue card, Conqueror is good. And if they do Force Blue card it, I can have another Conqueror with my next mana source. Cavern on Dragon here would be nutso. Disruptor Flute. I could just Disruptor Urza Saga right now. I think I want to put them to the test. This card's so good. Conqueror. Force pitching, Force of Negation. I did have the Force, cost them 2 cards though. Land, okay. Mana source so big here. Okay. I'm going to wait for them to tap. And then, how do I want to do this? I could Disruptor Flute naming Painter Servant and try to deal with the constructs, one of which I can flicker out easily. I could Disruptor Flute naming Urza Saga, and then they don't get the second thing, but the rest of their deck still works. I think I'm going to disrupt naming Painter. Or they're just going to force it. Okay. Never mind. They are now all in, but their all-in situation is really good. Mox Opal, the tutor, played Thoughtcast. That was a good draw. Come on, deck. Mana, mana, mana. I'll take it. I'll take it. Getting the Conqueror down first is so much more important. This stops anything else from happening, and then I can touch the Spirit Realm, one of these constructs out next turn. Stocking up. I got to deal with the constructs, and then we can ride the back of this dragon forever. Taking a huge hit here. I will not be blocking. Razorgrass Ambush. That can kill one of these constructs turn after next. I think I'd rather have the land in play, though, and start pushing back. I wish I could afford to shock that in, but I can't. Don't have time for Anointed Peacekeeper right now. Grindstone will make the constructs bigger. Right, exile target artifact or creature. This takes 6 damage off the board. And now I'm looking for a Plow, a March, a bigger creature, another Flicker, Cavern of Souls. All right, Cavern on Human. I will get a gander at that hand to see what's going on. Force of Will, Sink into Stupor. Okay, I'm going to name Sink into Stupor. Okay, I'm at 4, so I have to block this turn. And I don't really want to double block, but I think it's correct. So I'm going to pass, leaving my creatures up. This unlocks Grindstone if I double block. But I got to get this thing dead, and then I'll figure it out after that. Okay, hope they didn't rip Otawara or something that wins this combat outright. I've lost my Clarion Conqueror, of course. unlock their stuff. Their hand was 2 reactive spells a moment ago. Grim Monolith is fine. Okay, my next Cavern can be on Dragon. I'm going to hold this in my hand, though, and hope they don't rip a Painter. A Plow. Okay, I can fight over a Painter now, except I know they have Force Blue card in hand. I am in the market for a Clarion Conqueror. Yikes! That card's real good, and the Manamo's already in play. They're at 9. They can tap their Ancient Tombs this turn without losing any... Jesus! Jeez! Or they could just draw that. Alright, now I'm dead. Yeah, classic Stompy gameplay where you do some cool stuff up front, and then if it doesn't work, you lose. My opponent with the 1 ring and multiple stock-ups and a couple really hot rips getting over the finish line. All good. If in this game I had gone after... If I had ignored Emery, just let them have 1 extra mana for a turn, that becomes... Then I have Solitude for the second saga. Okay, so they're gonna... I'm gonna Plow. They can force pitching anything. Like, every card is blue, and I know they have 3 other cards in their hand. All right, you win. Cool. Okay, so if I ignore Emery because the Clarion Conqueror turns off creatures too, that gives them a turn with Emery in play, and my first Conqueror didn't resolve, so that they would have had 2 turns with Emery in play. There's like Lotus Petal, there was a Grindstone in their graveyard at the time. Maybe I was impatient about the Emery. It just felt important at the moment. But if the entire game resolves around Clarion Conqueror, then obviously maybe that's where I should have been. Okay, cool. On to the next round. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. I'm on the draw for round 3. I'm going to hope my opponent cares about Thalia and or Chalice of the Void. They mulled to 6. Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time decks don't usually care about Thalia very much. Dark Depths. Okay. Solitude and Karakas are good here. Chalice is going to be important. Chalice will turn off, if this is Turbo Golgari Depths, Chalice will turn off Thoughtseize, Crop Rotation, all that sort of thing. Pithing Needle on Wasteland. I'm not going to fight over that. Okay. White Initiative should be pretty solid versus Turbo Depths. Lands as an entire archetype just left the format when Initiative was playable. It was just not a thing you were allowed to do. Okay, Chalice on 1. Discard, Crop Rotation, Future Pithing Needles now off. Lotus Petal. Dark Depths. Got the Vampire Hex Mage. So they'll need some 0 mana effect here, but Thalia will turn that off even. Cavern on Human. And yeah, I'm going for Thalia. Drawing the second Solitude leaves some temptation to leave double Solitude, double white card in hand. But drawing Thalia means they can't protect this Meryl Age anyway. Witch Enchanter pitched to Solitude. They do go to 39. The Initiative can kill plenty fast from 39. They've got a Ghost Quarter. It looked like they tried to cast Sylvan Scrying and then remember Thalia's in play. Okay, Cavern. What's the other? There are Clerics, Archons, and Dragons in this deck. Counter spells don't really matter though. Double white might. I think this Cavern should be on Elemental. Cavern on Elemental. Attack with Thalia. I think I'm just going to double up my Chalice because it costs 3 under Thalia anyway. I'm not 1 mana away from a Chalice on 2. Okay, they had another Depths. Razor Grab Ambush. I will be holding on to that for Solitude. Are they going to keep making plays? Seiju. All right, there's the Sylvan Scrying they tried to cast 2 turns ago. This is going to get Thespian Stage. Lotus Petal. Okay, I can cast that. And that gives me hard cast Solitude next turn. Yeah, I'm going to play Razor Grass Field then. 5 kills an opponent from 50 a lot faster than 2 does. Chrome Mox, not very good. Attack with Thalia. And now if they have Not of This World, they actually can protect Dark Depths through my various squeeze pieces. Okay, here's this. Solitude. Herald Age is targeted and exiled. Okay, they're at 51. 2 Dark Depths have been used already. 3 cards in their hand. Elvish Spirit Guide beats. This is where we are. And it's a reasonable place to be. Thalia, keep the pressure up. I need a Seasoned Dungeoneer pretty quick. Ask and you shall receive. Big game. Tutor my second of 3 planes. My next planes means Ghost Quarters, just to remind, but hopefully I won't attack. I won't care by then. Rogue Warrior Wizard. Thalia is a soldier. None of the above. Okay. Thalia, attack. And I am going to forge onto Solitude and just bring the ruckus from here. I'm not playing around anything. I am just trying to kill my opponent. Forge onto Solitude. Draw for turn. Cavern of Souls. Attack with Dungeoneer and Solitude. Leave Thalia back so I don't lose the initiative. Archon of Emeria. I want that on top of my deck. Thank you. Okay, they're in chump block mode. I'm over 20 life now. Cavern on Archon. Let's pile that out. Okay. End step fetch. Get a Bayou. They could Ghost Quarter me if they don't want to play against Archon of Emeria, but I think that's the least of their troubles. Sick. Alright. Disruptor Flute. Swords to Plowshares. March of Otherworldly Light. So much hate for a deck like this one. Chalice comes out. Thalia. Pretty mid, actually. As I cut the 2 cards that kept me alive that game, I think it's right to do that. The Clarion Conqueror even turns off Vampire Hexmage. That's pretty sweet. I don't think I want more of them, but I do like the ones that I have. Okay, here we go. Game on. Deck full of exile-based removal. Plenty of juice to kill somebody from 50 or 60 life. Okay, turn 1 Seasoned Dungeoneer or turn 1 Archon of Emeria, either one backed by Solitude. This is where babies come from. Bonus on a Multi-6, Thespian Stage, Pithing Needle. They named Wasteland. Not a card in my deck, but is a card that a mono-white aggro deck would conceivably play, and is also really bad for them if I happen to have it. I think here I'm actually going to pitch the Archon and go for the Seasoned Dungeoneer turn 1. Just killing them this fast with 2 removal spells in my hand feels awesome. But I think Archon would cook them too. Lotus Petal. Scrying. Dark Depths. I think here I want to go in the Lost Well. Just locking up that white card for Solitude, giving me 2 layers of protection. Planes to the bottom. Oh, Peacekeeper. I'll just friggin' play that. Okay, attack first. Flipped another City of Traitors. Anointed Peacekeeper. They'd have the Not of This World. I'm going to name Thespian Stage with this. Thespian Stage. You all think I'm just saying random cards, but these are how these decks work. Not of This World. Okay, and I will pass. Thespian Stage now costs 4 to activate, and that is the other card in their hand too. Lotus Petal. They're stepping in the right direction. I don't think they'll be able to win fast enough. I am going to go into the stash. The extra mana could cast Solitude on an important time, or I could Disruptor Flute, Thespian Stage. Attack. Oh, I can pick the other one. That is a Cleric. Anointed Peacekeeper, do not put that in the graveyard. Don't you dare. A Disruptor Flute named Thespian Stage. That now costs 7 to activate. Ah, what a beating. Yeah, decks like this one, my opponent's deck, are so bad versus decks like this one. I mean, this sort of deck is not that popular. Red Stompy is very popular, but actual white exile removal initiative with lock pieces is not that popular. But if you happen to queue into these 2 unpopular decks, this one's massively favored. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 4. I have 2 4-drops in my hand and the mana to get to them. No disruption. I am going to keep this. If I knew the matchup was about something fast, I would mulligan, of course, but I like having 7 cards in my hand. If that makes me a bad Stompy player, that's fine. Opponent also kept 7. I will play my Razor Grass Field tapped and pass the turn. Wasteland, sure. My hand is slow and chunky anyway. If they want to tread water with me with Wastelands, that is a deal. Okay, I found mana number 4 again, and it's even better than the previous 4th mana I had. Both the creatures in my hand are humans. Scalding Tarn for Volcanic Island. Old Dragon's Rage Channeler. Mishra's Bauble. Bobbled me immediately after keeping a card on top. Cavern of Souls. Okay, Cavern on human. They saw that. I was going to play a Cavern this turn anyway, but they saw that. Okay, right now, if they have a second creature, that's disappointing. Now my choices are Palace Jailer, which could be a devastating mistake, or I could cast Touch the Spirit Realm, just face up as Oblivion Ring mode. Drawing Ancient Tomb makes me actually more interested in doing that. All right, Touch the Spirit Realm as the full Oblivion Ring. Take one of these Channelers out of here. If they pass with 1 creature, that's a situation I can manage with Palace Jailer, but having 2 creatures, I don't want my Delver opponent to get the initiative or the Monarch, if I can avoid it. Wasteland, please go after Cavern, please go after Cavern. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. I have a replacement 2-mana land and a replacement Cavern in my hand. Okay, I'm at 16. Okay, Tamiyo does not hit for damage, so that's okay. City of Traders. I'm going to play the Palace Jailer first. Take Dragon's Rage Channeler until I lose the Monarch. It's really important that Palace Jailer works how it does. They get the creature back when I lose the Monarch, not when Palace Jailer leaves play. Which means I don't have to play around Lightning Bolt here. I can just take the Monarch, start feeding cards, and enjoying my life. Solitude's nice. Cavern on Elemental, future play. They're not showing black mana or 3 mana, so I don't have to think about Kaito here with the Solitude. Beastorm, that will flip Tamiyo. Do I want to fight this fight over Tamiyo? I don't think I need to. It's mostly fine that they have the Planeswalker. I have a lot of pressure coming, and they won't be able to interact with a lot of it. Delver, okay. Delver, Bauble, bobbling me. Okay, I'm going to let them have the Bauble draw before I do anything else. Yeah, I think just Cavern on Elemental play Solitude here is good enough. So pitching Witch Enchanter feels really good. Okay, I'm actually going to pitch Witch Enchanter to Solitude. If they have Force, I still have Touch the Spirit Realm, but I would like to play Seasoned Dungeoneer this turn. Fetching in response for a green. Brainstorm is digging for Force of Will here. They did not find it. Okay, Solitude, take out this Delver, and then jam a Seasoned Dungeoneer on a stable board, and I still have a removal spell for Murktide. Grab a Plains and attack Tamiyo. This will at least mean that if they want to buy a spell back, they lose their Tamiyo. Ponder. If they find a Lightning Bolt, they can spend Bolt, Tamiyo, Bolt to kill Seasoned Dungeoneer, or they could just concede to my Cavern of Souls, beat down. Let's go. Yeah, this matchup's a little awkward because it's one where I want Swords to Plowshares and Chalice of the Void. I do have Chrome Boxes and Solitudes that can put a Plow to work, even if I don't have Chalice. This is not a matchup I want Clarion Conqueror. Basically no utility at all. I guess Mishra's Bauble before the Sticklers kick in. Tamiyo has activated abilities. Okay, yeah, Planeswalker is one of the things this does. Okay, not enough. I'll double down on not enough, but I will back off of no utility. It does have some. And here's a trick I learned from Phil Thraben Gallagher, which is boarding out Thalia in decks like this when you're boarding in Plow, because Thalia makes it harder for you to double spell, even though Thalia is really good against my opponent. Yeah, I think I want March more than Thalia too, and I will submit it like this. No acceleration, bad to Wasteland. I do have Swords to Plowshares and Solitude. I am going to try this. Chrome Mox, probably my best draw here. the Channeler. Bobble. Go nuts. I'd also take Basic Plains. Basic Plains and Chrome Mox are the two draws I'd like to see here. When it's got 5 in hand, touch the Spirit Realm. I am going to cook myself to Swords to Plowshares this thing. It's not like this hand can play around days anyway. Yep, that's fine. Okay, Plow is cooked. I have Solitude still. I can decide if they Wasteland me, I'll probably Solitude. If they don't Wasteland me, I'll think about it. Flooded Strand. So their hand has Volcanic Island in it and 4 unknowns. How do I want to deal with this? I think I am going to Solitude, pitching Peacekeeper, or pitching Touch. I'm going to get rid of Touch. Okay. This thing handled unless they have Consigned to Memory, which I would bring in against Initiative for the record if I was a Delver deck. Maybe not 4 of them, but some. Nice. Okay. Well done, opponent. Badly done me. If I was hyper dialed in, the correct time to do this would have been in response to the fetch. Then they couldn't daze or do anything else. A Cavern on Human. Do I want Thalia or Chalice in play? I think I actually want Thalia in play, because Swords of Plowshare is one of my better draws here. Yeah, that was a spew. This could be gone right now with Consigned to Memory stuck in their hand. Wasteland. They didn't have that last turn, or they had Consigned to Memory to beat it last turn. Either one is a viable excuse. Solitude. Okay, I could... Yeah, I'm actually going to blast in Chalice. Or nope, I can't do that because I have a Thalia. All right, tap land, play Solitude. They can't consign here. It would have to be Force. Okay, have we achieved stability? They have 4 cards in hand. One of them's Volcanic Island. Murktide Regent live as possible here. Is this the Volk they played on turn 1? This weird foil version? I don't remember seeing that. I would believe it, but I just don't remember it. Okay, I'm going to play around days here and get my mana out. Here's Chalice on 1. Please have 4 1-drops in your hand. Okay, your hand is all 1-drops. I'm going to draw Seasoned Dungeoneer, and then we can stop. How about that? That's the deal I propose. They just tapped and untapped their Trop, so they have a spell in hand, but they're not sure if they want to cast it. Murktide Regent. Yeah, I would cast that one too. All right, touch the Spirit Realm. Plains. That means I have 1 turn to draw Solitude here. Murktide coming in. 1 big draw step to rule them all. That's not it. Okay. Classic on the draw versus tempo situation. I also might have just kept a bad hand. I'm willing to believe it. That one of Thalia showed up and was pretty mid. There's nothing in my deck. Like, I could Disruptor Flute and name Wasteland or Murktide if I think that's better than a random Thalia. I don't really think it is, though. Thalia is also white for Solitude and Chrome Mox. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that where it is. Okay, I can turn 1 uncounterable Thalia and then turn 2 Chalice. Nope, because Thalia steps on Chalice. I could turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 uncounterable Thalia. Okay, keep. Chrome Mox, delete Witch Enchanter. Cavern on Human. Chalice on 1. Yeah, the Chalice just stops creatures too. Like, I don't want creatures coming down, even if it does let them Force of Will. Force pitching Brainstorm, okay. Wasteland, annoying. All right, land off the top. Magic's easy. Okay, City of Traders, Lotus Petal, Thalia. I'm playing Thalia first, just in case there is another Force in there. This both makes the Force worse, and it gives them the opportunity to run a Delver out. Oh, did they keep a hand that was just Force of Will Wasteland? Let me tell you about the Monarchy. You can't fight City Hall. I will exile nothing and become the Monarch. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Force Wasteland is a reasonable hand to keep on the draw, maybe. But not finding the actual land, you're going to lose pretty quick. Cool. On to the final round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I am on the draw in the final round, positive record locked, bread and butter 4-1 on the line. My hand can turn 1 an Archon of Myria or an Anointed Peacekeeper. My opponent mulled to 5. Let's hope this is not a situation where I don't get a turn 1. Okay, Island. D's. Okay, I'm gonna play Chrome Mox and see what happens. Exile Razorgrass Ambush, which I just drew. And I'm actually going to lead on Peacekeeper, because if you're going to mull to 5, I want to know what your 4 cards are, and your best one's going to cost more. Dress down Lorien Revealed Force of Will. Okay. This could be Omni Show. I could just name Show and Tell here. I think I want to name Dress Down, though. Which might seem weird, but Dress Down can turn off my future plays, and I don't want that to happen. Like if I resolve these 3 or 4 Hate Bears that I'm showing, and then they end up just casting Dress Down and winning anyway, then what have I even done? What have I done with my life? Nothing. Nothing! This one will name Force of Will if it resolves, but they'll probably know that and then force it. I guess I could have named Polluted Delta or Lorien Revealed, just didn't do that. That's fine. Time Spiral. Ooh, I could name High Tide, and their deck is probably garbage. Okay, yeah, I'm going to name High Tide. Now I have the information I need. Or wait, I'm about to Chalice, so I'm going to name Force of Will. And then the Chalice of the Void will beat the High Tides. And Archon of Amira also solos this deck. They can force here. They're going to have to. Oh, I drew mana. That's really good. Okay, I'm going to go for Chalice of the Void first. And after they force that, I'm going to play Archon of Amira. And then they can never win. That's my hope. Oh, wow, that just resolved. Okay. They lost the life, like they were intending to cast Force of Will, and then backed off it. Okay, I'm not going to play Archon then, if this is in. Land number 4, Dress Down costs 6. Or no, it costs... This is +2. Yeah, I am confused having both of these cards in my deck. The Anointed Peacekeeper and the Disruptor Flute. This one's 2, the other one's more. Okay. Cavern on Archon. Now they're going to have to Dress Down and spend all their mana to do it. Wow, they have 6 through that. Okay, cool. All right. High Tide is my opponent. I'm bringing in Disruptor Flute, probably cutting Solitude. Or Touch the Spirit Realm, probably worse than Solitude. But I can flicker my own things. Yeah, Solitude out. They're not going to have creatures. They might have something like Candelabra of Tawnos that March of Otherworldly Light could hit. March could hit Dress Down. That's something. Clarion Conqueror. Again, if they happen to have a Candelabra, I could get it, but I'm not going to bring in more of these. Nor am I going to cut the ones I already have. Okay, here we go. Turn 1 Thalia. Or turn 2 Thalia with a little patience. I'm going to keep it. Ponder. Do not shuffle. Cavern would be great. Another Ancient Tomb. Okay, I am going to turn 1 the Thalia, giving up Touch the Spirit Realm for the pleasure. I didn't want to go down 2 cards here because my hand has so many lands in it, but I think making them respond is a big deal. Okay, the pitch Turnabout. Okay, anything to follow up would be great. A weird upkeep Brainstorm. Why is that happening? They don't have mana to Lorien Revealed, so upkeeping this Brainstorm is really confusing to me. Oh, wow. They missed their land drop after doing that. Guess I'm just going to cast Witch Enchanter. Gotta win somehow. Oh, wow. They just scooped. All right. Kept a sketchy one, and it didn't work. Okay, a 4-1 result with Mono White Initiative featuring Clarion Conqueror. A card that was good in 2 of my matchups and mostly irrelevant in the other 3. This is honestly probably a sideboard card, unless the meta gets crazy centered around Nadu or artifact stuff. This card just probably isn't going to come down fast enough versus Oops, but I guess if you're on the play, which you will be at least one of the games of the match, Conqueror is almost as good as Archon. This Conqueror turning off Lotus Petal, I would have to do a dive. I don't think this turns off Elvish Spirit Guide or Simian Spirit Guide. Even though that is the activated ability of a creature, I believe a creature is not a creature until it's in play. It is a creature card in other zones, and this doesn't turn off creature cards. Let's see, Disruptor Flute. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated. So this doesn't specify whether the thing is a card or the object that it is. It's based on the name. This is based on the card type. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this doesn't turn off Spirit Guides. It does turn off Balustrade Spy. It does turn off Goblin Charbelcher. And maybe, I mean, if they're in my sideboard, I'm bringing them in versus Oops, but I don't know if the metagame's in a spot where this is necessarily good in the main. But if you just need more slots, another thing to cast for 3 mana, it's fine. If it didn't turn off your own Chrome Mox after powering it out, I would say just send it. Maybe play 4, who cares? Beat the decks that it's good against. But it is symmetrical, which makes it a big problem for Chrome Mox decks. Yeah, where this lands in a shell like this, if this shell even really exists competitively, all questions to be answered, but excited to play with a cool dragon from Tarkir Dragonstorm. King of the Depths, thank you for this opportunity. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.